So today I'm going to tell you guys what I did to get a job at Ulta Beauty as a task associate. So I've been seeing all over my For You page all about Ulta Beauty taskers and how great the job is. It's typically like morning shift, hours when the store is closed. Seems like the dream job. And it's pretty good pay too. So I was like, you know what, let me apply. I wanted to find a job in the beauty industry since that's my background. And I was like, I'm just going to apply and go for it and see what happens. So I went ahead and applied. I went to Ulta's career page on their website. I found an Ulta in my location and checked all of the job requirements to make sure I fit for the position. And I did a little trick that I learned about recently, which is using Google Gemini to help me build a resume based off of my current existing resume, just so it spruces it up and it makes it sound nicer and just seem really professional overall. So I did that, and I also made my resume kind of cute to stand out from the rest. Like I used Ulta Beauty colors from their logo. So I suggest if you're going to apply to Ulta, to do something like that, kind of creative. It is a very cutesy, girly, creative brand, so I feel like doing something a little extra on your resume won't hurt. So in addition to that, I made a cover letter that was really very sincere, very professional, detailing why I want to work for the company, my experience, all that kind of stuff. When I did all of that, I applied and I waited about 2 weeks, and then one of the things I highly recommend doing is calling Ulta and saying, hey, I just want to check up on my job application and see if the hiring manager has had time to review it. So when I did that, they asked for my name, my phone number, email address, all of those things. So when they're looking for my resume, that they'll have my information that'll pop up. So then they're like, okay, we know this person called. She's very interested in the position. She took the time out of her day to call. Let's keep her to the side so we can, move forward with her, maybe over someone else. You never really know. It doesn't hurt to try. So I definitely recommend doing that. And when I went ahead and did that, they said, okay, we'll give you a call in a few days and, see if we're going to move forward with you. So I waited, and I ended up getting a call and, a few days later, and they said they want to bring me in for an interview. So I was like, amazing. Thank you so much. I'll be there. So some things I did to prepare was look into Ulta's vision and mission statement. I looked at what the employees will typically wear and dress like an employee would for my interview. So I wore all black. You definitely want to have your makeup done amazing, your hair done amazing. Everything needs to be very spot on, very clean, very professional, but also I feel like, spruce it up a little bit more than you might for a different interview. I mean, if you're going in for like a banking role, you're probably not going to wear big lashes like you would for like something like Ulta or Sephora. So you have room to be creative and kind of, get away with like doing more. So in addition to shopping for a cute outfit, I also did some Googling to see some common interview questions, and some things that popped up and I got asked too was, tell me about your retail experience. So it's definitely good to have retail experience. I know that they do hire even if you don't have retail experience, but anything customer service, sales, that's going to be a really big plus for you to get the job. Another thing was, tell me about yourself. Don't be boring, tell them about yourself. Tell them a little bit, about your background, why you would be a good fit for the position, about your experience in retail or sales, customer service, stuff like that. Just make it cute, make it entertaining, and just like hold a conversation, hold your own. Another thing that they asked is, in addition to your customer service experience, is how you would handle a difficult customer. Definitely don't bash on like previous work experiences or bash on customers that you've dealt with before. Be really professional and say, I helped this customer get X, Y, and Z. They weren't not happy because they couldn't find a product, so I found them an alternative or helped them find the product at hand. Be very clear, concise, and professional. Some other things they asked was like, what is your availability? If you're like comfortable working certain set hours. Like this position for the task associate is in the mornings. So there's truck days, so some days are going to be earlier than others. So make sure that your schedule is going to align with what they're wanting, and make sure to be honest about if you're able to, do the necessary tasks that they're wanting. Another big one that they're going to ask is why you want to work at Ulta. Make sure you're very energetic and like lively with every answer, of course. But when you're answering this question, definitely maybe make it a little personal. Like what I did was I talked about how I started doing makeup when I was in middle school. I was like a YouTube kid, watched all the beauty influencers, and I would see that they get products that were sold at Ulta, or they were shopping at Ulta and like shopping videos. So I was just saying, you know, I've been a loyal customer for over 10 years. I have always loved beauty, and I have always dreamed about working at Ulta. So this is what I did. I applied, and you know, X, Y, and Z. So those are some staple questions. They might ask you other questions too. Make sure to definitely Google before you go in for your interview. A full beat, professional looking. And one of the last things I'll leave you guys with is to ask questions at the end of every interview you go in for. This is kind of a staple, but when you're asking questions at the end, these are the 3 that I used that I feel like helped keep the conversation going and just kind of benefited me in getting the job. So those questions I asked were, what does a day look like for a task associate? What does like day-to-day look like? What is the work environment like? And how many hours will I be getting or expected to get for the position? I hope this helped you guys. If you're interested in becoming a tasker, if you're interested in working at Ulta, or you just need help with like some interview prep, hopefully this was helpful for you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.